I think anytime I've had a family event where it always comes back to family. Watching Hannah and Brittany being born and being part of that process and holding a newborn baby, um, I don't know that anything compares to that. It's just, but there's different, I guess, different categories or different types of happiness. That's one. Um, you know, getting married and going on that venture and that path is another. Um, and then there's accomplishments that are you know personal or professional in nature that stick out of my mind. I think my biggest strength is that I don't quit because I've gotten used to the fact that um, most things don't come easy to me. I wasn't a great reader as a kid, um, and it's ironic that I'm an educator. I barely graduated high school, 750 out of a class of 900 was my ranking. Um, in the Army, whenever I went to a school or took a test, I often had to retake it. I failed officer candidate school. Um, I failed math and became a math teacher, but I failed it for the first time in junior high. I failed it again in community college, but I loved it. I loved math. I didn't love failing, but but um, but I appreciate the fact that I've learned how to have tenacity and fortitude when things are hard, and I'm just used to having to rethink things and having to do them again and try it a different way and um, you know so I think that's probably become my biggest strength is the grit. I think my perseverance or grit, fortitude has helped me to be a better superintendent because I can model for students in real time the either personal or professional challenges that we're either having as a district or me in my personal life, and I'm pretty vulnerable. I don't mind talking to students about things that I'm working on, things that I'm trying to do better at, or things that I'm trying to learn. So if I want our district to become, you know, um, better at having our students be mindful, then I don't mind doing a breathing exercises, with students. And I think that's probably how that most comes into uh, the school district, and then also with my group of people that I work with on an everyday basis. So with cabinet and principals, and talking with assistant superintendent of business or personnel services. Um, those groups I talk a lot about fortitude and grit and mindfulness and so on. I think the biggest thing I've learned in my nearly 30 years of experience in education is that it truly does take a team. So you may have a great idea, or a teacher may have a great idea, but if you really want to see true growth and real change district wide that permeates um, naysayers, that permeates politics, that permeates financial limitations, then you have to have true collaboration, true teamwork, true leadership. And when I say true leadership, I'm not talking about the superintendent. So when leadership, I look at it as a verb, not the person wearing the tie, not necessarily a teacher. Leader could be a 12-year-old student. A leader could be a custodian. So a leader is somebody that looks at a situation and uses um, their mindfulness, their um, their technical abilities, or their motivational skills to influence and impact others around them. and that can come from anybody. So when you have, you know, true leadership in your district, it isn't about who's at the top necessarily. It's about the actions taking place throughout the district and the belief system and core values of every stakeholder in that district, that there's a common vision among those folks. I think the most important role I have as a superintendent is, especially in this time and age, is health and welfare. And we can say our most important role is academic achievement, and it's one of our most important roles. But truly, when we have students that are having higher rates of stress in their lives more than ever before, we see depression, anxiety that's pervasive in our students, and not just in our students, but in our teachers, in our administration. We see wellness as, for me, the number one challenge for school districts. So that has a direct and an indirect impact on the academic achievement of our students, but I see that as our most important responsibility. So I see that as the number one role, is truly taking care of our students. You know, and I don't know how many superintendents say this, but last week I told my group of juniors and seniors at the high school that I love them at a school assembly. And I don't know how often that happens, but I sat in front of them and their parents and their teachers, and it was in the context of doing the culminating activity for every 15 minutes, which is a program that many people are aware of, that simulates a drunk driving automobile accident. And every 15 minutes for a 24-hour period, a student simulates the death of a drunk driving accident. So at this assembly, you know, I said to the students, it's important that you know I love you and I care about you, because they have to know that somebody truly feels that way about them, and that's why we're doing this exercise. Now, I explained what I meant by that, because I could understand sitting in their chair. Well, how can you love me? You don't even know me. So I explained to them that, you know, as a teacher, I had amazing relationships with my students. As a principal, I had amazing relationships with my staff and students. As you become farther removed from students, you can still extend that passion and extend that emotion. You can emote love in a generic sense, and I think they see that in my eyes when I'm talking to them. I think they know. When I was looking at them in the audience and I saw heads, you know, nodding, they know. They know that I care about them, and they know I would do anything to protect them and to keep them safe. It's important to keep our students safe, because that has tentacles, right? There's safety, like our campus is secure, so there's physical safety. That has benefits for a student walking into a school that I know I'm not going to get hurt today. I can be ready to learn, even if it's subconscious. I'm coming into a school that is clean. I know when I hit the light switch, it works. There's not going to be a spark. I know when I go to, you know, the restroom, it's clean. The plumbing's working. The doors aren't torn off. So that's all about, you know, school safety. But then there's also safe to risk. So when I'm in a classroom environment, is my teacher, is my administrator, are the custodians, is everybody working as a team to make my environment a safe place to take academic and social risks? Is my social, emotional health, welfare in a good place at this school? And that's huge.